Hi everyone, Melissa here. In today's video, I want to talk about what to do if you are overanalyzing everything, every circumstance, or just really worried that you're messing something up with your manifestations. So if this sounds like you, I think this video will really help you. And we're giving away a free course. You can find the link for that in the description of this video. It's how to find your blocks to manifest anything fast. Okay, let's get into this video because I've been noticing this with a lot of clients lately, and I've been seeing in our comments on YouTube lots of worry that they're messing something up, that they're missing a block, but this happened in the 3D and I've been affirming, just lots of doubt and questioning and worrying. So I really wanted to do this video to try to put that, to give you some comfort and to ease your minds, because manifesting does not have to be stressful. And if you're worried about doing it wrong, then it's unnecessary stress that you're allowing into your experience. So let's get back to the basics to start it off. What is manifesting? And why shouldn't you worry if you're doing it wrong? So manifesting is this ability that every human being is gifted with, is born with, and you have been doing it your whole life. Whether or not you knew it, realized it, it's been true your whole life. Law of assumption is a universal law that says, and you can also, if you're new to this channel or new to manifesting, I highly suggest you check out Neville Goddard. Tons of books and lectures specifically on law of assumption and how to consciously create amazing, huge wealth of knowledge, and it will really help you understand what's going on with manifesting. But the law of assumption and manifesting is this. You experience in your physical reality, comes from your assumptions and beliefs. So you're not physically creating your circumstances. You're not physically creating people to show up in your life. But what you believe and assume to be true about your life, about people, about yourself, that is projected into your physical world experience for you to see and, experience with all your senses. Okay. So a very simple way of thinking about this is you are constantly manifesting what you believe is true. You are constantly manifesting into your 3D physical experience whatever you believe is true, because you can only experience your reality through your own perspective. So everything in your experience is filtered through your perspective and through what you're perceiving is true. So as you change your perception of something, as you change your perspective on something, as you change your assumptions and beliefs about someone, about something, your experience, the circumstances in your physical reality that you experience will change to reflect that. So it's constantly moving and changing based on your assumptions, beliefs. When you change your mind about things, things change, okay? So when you worry, am I doing this wrong? It's always happening, no matter if you're worrying about it or not. Manifesting is always happening. So if you're worrying that you're doing it wrong, you're just creating that in your experience. You're going to start perceiving that you're doing it wrong. You're going to see circumstances that you will make mean that you're not doing something right. That there's always another block I need to find. There's always another book I need to read. There's always another lecture I need to read. There's this piece that I'm missing to my manifesting game. There's something I'm missing. There's something I don't know yet. Why can't I figure this out? Why isn't it showing up for me in the 3D? That line of thinking, that questioning, is just creating that storyline to play out in your experience. So if you don't want to notice that you're messing things up or think that you're messing things up, start deciding that that's just not true for you anymore. You can never mess it up. You're always doing it right. If something is not showing up yet in your physical experience, you just keep persisting in what you are now assuming is true, because that's the only way it works. If you assume something, if you start affirming, decreeing, deciding, whatever word you want to use, that something new is true for you, it has to show up in your 3D physical experience, in your reality, because what you're only ever always experiencing what you decide is true, what you believe is true, what you assume is true. So you don't need to worry that you're doing it wrong. All that's going to do is create that narrative to play out for you in your experience. So I hope that helps to clear it up. I hope that takes some pressure off. If you are someone who's asking yourself, what am I missing? Am I doing it wrong? Stop that now and start deciding you're not missing anything. You're always doing it right. You can never mess it up. If something's not showing up yet in your experience, it just means you need to keep persisting in the story of what is true for you instead, that matches your desire. So use your 3D circumstances, things that people do, things that people say, stuff that's showing up, stuff that's not showing up. Just use that as feedback. If you're noticing something you don't like in your physical reality, that is telling you, okay, you don't prefer this. Let's start assuming something better for yourself, for myself. I'm going to start assuming something better for myself about this person, about this thing, about that I want, about anything. So when you're noticing stuff isn't here yet, you've been trying to manifest something for a long time, stop trying and just start deciding. Just start deciding what is true for you in your experience. If it helps you to do techniques like scripting or visualizing, or, I personally like having a handful of affirmations about whatever I'm choosing to manifest next. And when I think about it, when I notice it's not here yet, I go to those affirmations. But any technique you like will work for you as long as you know that it works for you, because again, it's all based on whatever you're going to assume is true. If you assume something's not going to work for you, it's not going to work for you. But choose a technique that really helps you to embody the feeling that what you want is true right now. Scripting is great. You can write out a whole page about what your life is like now that you have this manifestation. Maybe it's health, maybe it's a car, maybe it's your perfect relationship. Whatever it is, scripting is a really good way to get you into that mindset. Visualization, Neville Goddard calls that SAS, if you've heard that term before. That's where you choose a scene, an imaginal act that implies that your manifestation is true right now, that your desire is true right now, and you just visualize it. You do it before bed, or you do it just anytime. You just imagine it, visualize it, and it gets you into that feeling that it's true right now. And that feeling, it doesn't have to be overly excited and overly emotional. It's just this. It's more of like a knowing. Like, this is what's true for me now. This is how my life is now. This is how this situation is now. Maybe what I thought was true before that I experienced was not fun and I don't like it. So I'm going to decide something new and better is true now. And I know that when I change my mind about things, when I assume something new is true, then that new experience is what's going to push out in my physical reality. So techniques are really good to help you get into that feeling like something is already true for you now. That can also be called living in the wish fulfilled, living in the end. It's all the same idea. You're just trying to, first of all, decide what you want, and then imagine that you have it already. Play a game of pretend, like when you were a kid, pretend like it's true right now. How does that feel? Just sit right now in this moment. Think of your desire and just what if it were true for you right now? What if you just got it, you just found out it's actually true right now? Sit and imagine that. What is that feeling? How does that feel? That knowing that I already got what I want. Now on to the next. That's what you're trying to evoke. That's the knowing, that's the feeling, that's what you're trying to evoke anytime you're trying to manifest something. So you're already doing it all the time. You've manifested so many things in your life before you even knew about conscious creation. Maybe you're just finding out about conscious creation now. Maybe you've known about it for a while, but you probably didn't know about it when you were born, right? So at some point in your life, you manifested a whole bunch of things that you enjoyed, experiences that you enjoyed, friendships that you enjoyed, jobs that you enjoyed, good health, travel, whatever it was. You manifested a bunch of things in your physical reality experience that you enjoyed, and you didn't do any work to do that. You didn't do a bunch of techniques and read a bunch of books and watch a bunch of videos. You just, in your mind, decided, assumed, believed something new was true that you preferred, and you got that experience to push out in your physical reality. There's no difference in, it's the same exact thing that you're doing when you're consciously choosing to manifest something. The only change to that process is you're consciously selecting your assumptions. You're directing your experience with your assumptions instead of just letting your assumptions flow naturally, however they end up being. Maybe some are good, maybe some are bad, and then your experiences happen as a result of that. And that can feel like life just happening to you. You'll get a mix of good, you'll get a mix of bad. Hopefully you'll not get more bad than good, but again, it's all about your assumptions, which is the beauty of all of this, because that means you can change anything at any moment, because every moment is now. The present moment is always now, and it's always an opportunity to shift your assumptions, to change the story you're telling yourself about something, so that one, it just feels amazing and you can experience the truth of that, because that's the real gift of life. Is in our mind we can experience the truth of absolutely anything. And as a bonus, when we persist in that assumption, we get to experience it again in our physical reality. It's very visceral with all of our senses. But you can experience absolutely anything you want in your mind, and that's the true manifestation. It's here first, and then it pushes out here if you just hold on to that assumption, if you keep deciding that that's what's true for you. So you're never messing anything up, and stop deciding that you are, because that's just going to keep you frustrated. You're giving your power away to a limiting belief. And why do that to yourself? So you're not messing it up. You can never do it wrong. If you're not seeing what you want in your physical reality, it's just an indicator that, okay, that's something I don't prefer. I need to shift my assumption about something, about that desire, for it to show up differently. Okay? So I hope that helps. And if you're over analyzing everything, if you're nitpicking at every thought, if you're, what limiting belief am I missing about this thing? I've been trying to manifest it for a while. Or you're over analyzing every circumstance or every interaction with a person, I'm giving you permission right now to stop doing that. It's exhausting and it's hypercritical. Sometimes you can be hypercritical of yourself and of other people. And if you will just take a step back from all of that and ask yourself, what do I really want? What do I really want about with this person, with this relationship, with this circumstance, with this thing that I'm hyper analyzing? What is it that I truly want? From there, use a technique, or just start assuming that what you want specifically about that thing is true right now. And just keep going back to that place in your mind. It feels really good to start just decide, oh my gosh, this is true right now. Like, let me give you an example. Let's say you've been struggling with money your whole life, and you've been trying to manifest more money and financial security, and you just keep noticing debt and bills and, a low bank account balance. What if in this moment you put aside all the work you've been doing, all the trying, all the affirming, everything, and you just sat with yourself and you thought, but what if I was wealthy right now? I am wealthy right now. I have thousands in the bank right now. Money chases me right now. Money flows to me right now. I'm constantly receiving money. People love giving me money. How does that feel? What does it feel like to know that that's true for you now? That's where you're trying to get to. It's an indifferent sweet spot. You become an indifferent observer of your physical reality, because you know that it just showing you your preferences constantly, and you can constantly shift and change them with your new assumptions. So take a moment, quiet your mind, ask yourself, what do I want right now? What exactly do I want? And then start just imagining that it's true right now. It's true right now. Start telling yourself a better story about that desire. And when you notice the 3D not matching it, go back to that moment of quieting your mind and telling yourself that it's true right now and feeling that it is true right now. Okay? I hope this helps you. I really just wanted to tell you that you're not messing anything up. Stop telling yourself you're messing anything up, because you're just creating that unwanted, frustrating narrative for yourself, and it doesn't have to be true. You know, it's only true if you keep deciding it's true. So stop deciding you're messing anything up. And you can change your assumptions like that in seconds, in minutes. You know, we change our minds all the time. That's what's so beautiful about all this. That is the free will that you have. You have the free will to decide something new and better is true about anyone and anything in any moment. So use that power. Use it wisely. Choose your assumptions based on what you want instead of what you don't want. If you're getting caught up in a victim's mode, if you're spiraling in negative thoughts and feeling terrible, if you're triggered constantly by things that lead to bad emotions and, you know, doubting yourself and feeling bad about yourself, that is where, number one, working on your self-concept can be hugely helpful, because everything is coming from you. You know, as within, so without. It's all about yourself. It's all about yourself. People and things are showing up based on your beliefs and assumptions about them and you. So if you are struggling, check in with your self-concept. Who do I think I am? What do I think I deserve? What am I worthy of? What is possible for me? If you need a deep dive help with self-concept, I have an awesome new course that I just created specifically for that. I really meant for it to be something that helps people step into their power as a conscious creator. You can find the link for that in the description of this video. And also, I'm available for one-on-one coaching. Sometimes it helps to have an indifferent observer, a coach who can really tell you, hey, this is the story you're telling about this thing, whether or not you realize it, this is what needs to change in order for you to get what you want. Okay. And also just, you know, take the opportunity to free yourself from your self-imposed limitations. You know, if something feels limiting to you, don't accept it as true for yourself anymore. Okay. All right. I think that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. I intend this helped you. I intend that you all have an amazing rest of your week. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing to our channel. And if there's any other video topics you would like to see, please put those in the comments, because we do pay attention to those and we want to give you what you want to know about. So that's it for this one. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you in the next one.